Hi, it's Dom from the msguide.com. This is a follow-up video to the COVID-19 Ocrelizumab one I put up 5 days ago. It's been extraordinarily popular and I've learned a lot since then, and I think I owe it to both the people that have taken the time to educate me and also to you, the patients, like I'm one, to learn about even more, because things are moving super fast. You can watch the other video here. I'm pretty sure that's where you click on it. But anyhow, we're going to start going now. Hi, it's Dominic from the msguide.com. Building on my last video about Ocrelizumab and COVID vaccine responses, like I said then, and I'll reiterate, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a virologist, I'm a patient who's on Ocrelizumab. My main concern is that as patients, we don't get left behind by this unforeseen, utterly unforeseen, nobody's fault, should we say, overlap between the powerfulness of the Ocrelizumab medication by suppressing our immune system and the fact that the COVID-19 jabs need some sort of immune system to work. So, let me update you with what I know. And again, I stress, I ain't no doctor, okay? I have been in touch with several doctors. I've actually been invited by Professor Giovannoni to write a piece for the Bart's blog because I think that he thinks it's interesting to hear a patient point of view. And that's all I'm trying to do here, is not alarm anybody. Because my last video got an extraordinary amount of views. I'm not used to it. I'm a complete amateur, so please humor me. Okay, when I started on Ocrelizumab 2 years ago, I think that my team at the hospital at John Radcliffe in Oxford had a feeling that Ocrelizumab may make receiving any benefit from vaccines very, very difficult. So I'm going to tell you what I was required to have before I started Ocrelizumab, and I'm going to read from my list here. It's called Hib and Men-C, which is a combo vaccination. Men, which is meningococcus, I guess, ACWY. Meningitis B, which is 2 jabs, 4 weeks apart. And then a pneumococcal vaccine. There are 23 and 13 valent varieties available. I think valency just covers more of the sort of versions of the nastiness that it's vaccinating against. In the UK, the 23 one has a very iffy supply, so they're happy that I took the 13 valent one as well. The 13 valent one it is called something different, but you know, this is where I hand over to pharmacists and doctors and go, you know best. And then the final one is DPT, which is diphtheria, polio and tetanus. And if it has been longer than 10 years since you had your last DPT, they asked me, which it was for me because I'm a bit older, to get a booster for that. So I had all of them before I started the Ocrelizumab. I was like a human dartboard. And I guess it was, they weren't trying to alarm me, and I don't get alarmed by stuff like this anyhow, but no neurologist sat me down. This was really, again, through my MS nurse, who I can't emphasize enough how fantastic he is. So I had those. Where we are now, Ocrelizumab leaves you with T cells. It pretty much wipes out your B cells, is my understanding. It's like, you know, carpet bombing an area again and again and again. It takes a while for things to grow back, i.e. certain parts of your immune system. What it does not touch is T cells. I recently had an immunodeficiency panel done at the hospital because, again, early days, we're not sure. And they figured it'd be good to find out. I have perfectly normal T cells. CD3, CD4, CD8, I think. I couldn't even tell you what CD is, so don't pretend that I think I know any more than that. I'm just reciting the figures. However, the CD19s, which are the indicator for the CD20s, which is what gets carpet bombed by the Ocrelizumab, they are all in this sort of almost negligible, you can barely tell there's nothing going on aspect. Now, what does this mean for vaccines for the COVID-19 vaccine? as far as I'm aware, the flu jabs, so if we back up and go to the seasonal flu jabs as opposed to COVID-19, apparently the flu jabs work in Ocrelizumab treated patients, but I don't know how much they work. I don't know if they get 50% efficacy, 20%, 80%. I still have one, and I'd have one next time as well. And that's to do with the T cells, because immunity also comes from T cell activity. This is where I'm treading into areas about which I know nothing. So T cells. And several of the doctors that I've spoken to, neurologists, prominent American neurologists, prominent UK neurologists, have just said, we're not sure, but we think that T cells may afford you some protection. But again, is that 10%, 20%, 50%, 100%? Who knows? As far as I'm aware, and I'm happy to be corrected, there's no work regarding the COVID-19 vaccine and T cells and Ocrelizumab treated patients. So don't be alarmed. This is new, evolving. Look at the speed of science. Look at the speed of the development of the COVID vaccine. Not because corners were cut, but everything else was stopped. Everything was brought to a halt so the COVID vaccine could get through and help us return our lives to normal. That's what I want as a patient. I don't mind waiting a year because nobody knew, but I want my neurologist or my healthcare team to say to me, Dom, we've got this. We know there's a problem. We're working out a way. Certain things can't be rushed, but we want you to know that we're on this and you're not going to be left behind or fall through the cracks or however you choose to describe it. So that's still my concern as a patient, is I don't want to be overlooked because everything is going so quickly right now. Would I take a vaccine? Absolutely. I'd take a vaccine in a heartbeat. I've put out videos about this. I'd get my COVID vaccine. It was a complete shock to find out that at least with my B cells, there was no, or at least with my immune response to the vaccine, there was none. But that doesn't mean I give up or hide under the table. It just means that there's more to learn. There's more to do. I'm a big believer in science, and they will get there. What I don't want to do, like I said, is be left behind by a neurologist. So, awesome what's going on. Awesome to do your antibodies. This only applies to Ocrelizumab. I don't know anything about the way the other drugs really work. I'm quite selfish because that's what I'm on, Ocrelizumab. So you need to dig into it if you're on anything other than Ocrelizumab. You can't just assume that 1 equals 2 equals 3 equals 4. It doesn't work like that. Ocrelizumab is the particular one in my case. So all I would say is don't be scared. I'm not scared. I just want to ensure that we don't fall through the cracks and get overlooked. And I want to be kept informed as to what's going on. It may not be great news, but I want to hear it. And I want to be able to participate in society as a vaccinated member as much as is sensibly possible. So that's all I'm after. Have a lovely day. And please, if you like these videos, subscribe to the channel. I try to put out sensible, useful things from a patient perspective. Anyway, have a lovely day. Cheerio. Bye-bye.